Ghost Rider vs. Constantine. Hellfire vs. Dark Magic. Hey there, fellow comic book aficionados. Welcome back to the channel where we dive deep into the wildest, what-if, scenarios of the comic universe. So, grab your favorite snack and let's get comfy because today we're tackling a clash that's been the subject of countless debates at comic shops and conventions alike. Ever wondered what would happen if Marvel's Spirit of Vengeance, Ghost Rider, went head-to-head with DC's Master of the Dark Arts, John Constantine? I mean, when Hellfire meets Dark Magic, you know things are gonna get real interesting. So let's peel back the layers, break down their origins, powers, and maybe crunch some mystical numbers to see who might just edge out in this supernatural showdown. Ready? Let's roll. So, let's kick things off with Ghost Rider. Johnny Blaze, yeah, the guy with the name straight out of an action movie, is a stunt motorcyclist who made a deal with the devil. Literally. In Marvel Spotlight, number 5 back in 1972, Johnny is desperate to save his adoptive father, Crash Simpson, from a terminal illness. Enter Mephisto, Marvel's resident Lord of Hell. Johnny strikes a deal, but classic devil's bargain. Crash dies anyway, and Johnny is bonded with the demon Zarathos, transforming into the flaming-skulled spirit of vengeance we all know and love. Now, Ghost Rider isn't just a dude with a flaming noggin. Let's break down what makes him a real heavyweight. Hellfire manipulation. First up, Hellfire. This isn't your backyard bonfire. It's a mystical flame that burns the soul rather than the body. In Ghost Rider Volume 7-35 feet, he used it to sear through dimensions. He can channel it through his weapons, like his signature Hellfire chain, and project it as blasts or walls of flame. Fun fact: Hellfire can harm beings that are otherwise intangible or invulnerable to physical attacks. The Penance Stare. The Penance Stare, the ultimate guilt trip. When Ghost Rider locks eyes with his victim, they feel all the pain they've inflicted on others. It's been effective against street thugs and cosmic entities alike. Remember when he used it on Galactus Herald, Terex? Yeah, that happened. Physically, Ghost Rider's no slouch. He's tangled with the Hulk and lived to tell the tale. In World War Hulk, Ghost Rider, he went toe-to-toe with Green Scar himself. He has superhuman strength. We're talking lifting in excess of 25 tons, endurance, and a healing factor that makes Wolverine jealous. Plus, his Hell Cycle isn't just for show. It can travel faster than light and even ride on water and vertical surfaces. Ghost Rider's list of accomplishments is, frankly, wild. He's taken down Zarathos, the very demon he's bonded with, showcasing control over his own curse. In Ghost Rider Volume 6-33 feet, he defeated the rogue Archangel Zadkiel, who had seized control of heaven. He's resisted mind manipulation from the likes of Emma Frost due to his supernatural nature. Sliding over to the DC realm, let's chat about John Constantine, the trench coat-wearing, chain-smoking magician who first appeared in The Saga of the Swamp Thing, number 37 in 1985, courtesy of Alan Moore. Constantine's childhood was a nightmare, an abusive father, a mother who died in childbirth. It's no surprise he turned to magic as a means of control. The infamous Newcastle incident, where a botched exorcism damned a girl's soul, left him with a hefty load of guilt and a stint in a mental institution. Now, John may not have Hellfire, but he's got a few tricks up his sleeve. Master Sorcerer. Constantine's magical prowess spans demonology, necromancy, curses, and even time manipulation. In Hellblazer-120 feet, he summoned and controlled a demon lord. He's proficient in rituals that can alter reality itself, although they often come at a personal cost. Occult knowledge. His real ace is his vast knowledge of the occult. He knows every rule, loophole, and secret name in the mystical realms. In Books of Magic, he guides Tim Hunter through the complexities of magic, hinting at his own deep connections. Expert strategist. John's mind is his greatest weapon. He's deceived the first of the fallen, the DC equivalent of Satan, not once but multiple times. In Hellblazer-41 feet, he tricked 3 Lords of Hell into a stalemate, effectively curing his own cancer. He often employs magical artifacts like the House of Mystery, a sentient, teleporting abode, the Twin Blade, capable of slaying demons, and various enchanted objects collected over decades. Surviving eternal damnation is kind of his thing. He's negotiated with archangels, outwitted gods, and even momentarily wielded the power of Shazam. In Day of Vengeance, he played a crucial role in containing the Spectre's rampage. Comparing powers and abilities. Hellfire versus Dark Magic. Alright, let's get into the nitty-gritty. Ghost Rider's Hellfire burns the soul. But Constantine's dealt with soul magic extensively. In Hellblazer 134 feet, he absorbed a soul-damaging curse and redirected it. He could potentially shield himself or even weaponize the Hellfire against Ghost Rider using inversion spells. Physical might versus magical prowess. Ghost Rider's physicality is off the charts. Constantine, on the other hand, is human. He doesn't have super strength or speed. But he's a master of misdirection. In Hellblazer 69 feet, he used illusions to make himself invisible to a demonic horde. In Hellblazer 69 feet, he used illusions to make himself invisible to a demonic horde. He could create duplicates, distort Ghost Rider's senses, or trap him in a time loop. Weaknesses and limitations. Ghost Rider's limitations often stem from his human host. Johnny Blaze's influence can suppress Ghost Rider's full potential. Also, divine or celestial beings can match or counter him. Constantine's weakness is his mortality and overconfidence. He's prone to making enemies, and his health isn't the best. Years of smoking and stress take their toll. Battle scenarios. The encounter. Picture a fog-shrouded crossroads at midnight. The veil between worlds is thin. Perhaps Mephisto and Nergal concoct a scheme, manipulating events so our heroes believe the other is a threat to their universe. Clash of powers. Ghost Rider arrives, chains ablaze, intent on eliminating the threat. Constantine quickly realizes persuasion isn't an option and goes into survival mode. He casts a protective ward, inscribed with ancient Enochian scripts he learned from angels in Hellblazer number 44. Ghost Rider's Hellfire lashes out but meets resistance. Tactics and adaptations. Constantine employs environmental manipulation, summoning spectral figures from Ghost Rider's past to distract him. In Hellblazer 27 feet, he used similar tactics against enemies, exploiting psychological weaknesses. Ghost Rider, undeterred, summons the full might of his Hellfire, beginning to overwhelm Constantine's defenses. Ghost Rider's Penance Stare attempt. Ghost Rider seizes an opening and hits Constantine with the Penance Stare. Now, this is where things get complex. Constantine's done terrible things but often for the greater good or as necessary evils. In Hellblazer 87 feet, he confronts his own sins and accepts them. The stare could either incapacitate him, cause minimal effect, or potentially backfire due to the convoluted nature of his soul. Constantine's trump card. Realizing he's outmatched physically, Constantine might tap into higher magic. He could invoke a ritual from the books of magic, calling upon the primal forces of the universe, or even seek aid from entities like the Phantom Stranger. Alternatively, he might exploit the bond between Johnny Blaze and Zarathos, casting a separation spell he once used in Hellblazer Annual number 1. As the dust settles, perhaps the true puppeteers reveal themselves. Constantine, ever the negotiator, proposes a temporary alliance to thwart Mephisto and Nergal's plans. Ghost Rider, driven by vengeance against those exploiting innocence, agrees. It's not the first time Constantine has turned foes into allies. In Justice League Dark 22 feet, he united disparate magic users against a common threat. So, who takes the crown in this clash? If it's a straight-up fight with no prep, Ghost Rider's raw power and relentless nature might give him the edge. But with even a sliver of time to strategize, Constantine's cunning could tip the scales. He thrives in the gray areas, exploiting loopholes and manipulating opponents far stronger than himself. But let's be honest, both characters operate on such unique paradigms that their encounter could unfold in myriad ways. Factors like location, knowledge of each other, and external influences would heavily impact the outcome. And that's the beauty of these discussions, isn't it? There's no definitive answer, just endless possibilities to geek out over. So, what's your take on this supernatural face-off? Do you believe Constantine's razor-sharp wit and arcane mastery could outmaneuver the unstoppable force of Ghost Rider? Or would the spirit of vengeance blaze a path straight through any obstacle? Drop your theories, favorite comic references, and battle scenarios in the comments below. Let's keep this conversation going. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive into the clash between Hellfire and Dark Magic. If you enjoyed hanging out and digging into the lore, be sure to smash that like button. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and ring that bell icon so you won't miss out on our next epic exploration. We've got a lineup of awesome content coming your way, from obscure comic book tales to more who would W in matchups that'll make your head spin. Stay curious, keep those pages turning, and until next time, this is your host signing off. Catch you later, and may your comic collection always grow.